Hey, good morning. It's Patricia Murphy. It's Monday. This is Seattle Now. Many of your favorite restaurants might have something in common. Some of the talented chefs and kitchen staff probably came from the Seattle Culinary Academy, but the program is set to be canceled. KUOW's Ruby DeLuna will tell us why and how alumni are reacting. But first, let's get you caught up. More labor developments on tap for Amazon. Today, the National Labor Relations Board will count votes cast last week in a union election at another Staten Island warehouse. That result could come later today. Meanwhile, the outcome at the company's first organized warehouse could be overturned. Amazon has alleged that a New York labor office was biased in favor of workers. Reuters reports that Amazon has been granted a hearing that could undo the result. Back here in Seattle, the Kraken's first season is officially in the books. They ended their inaugural season with a loss, giving up 3 late goals to Winnipeg yesterday. With only 27 wins, the Kraken finish year 1 at the bottom of the Pacific Division. Hopefully, fans can look forward to a rise from the briny depths in season 2. And just in time to change the subject at Climate Pledge Arena, Sir Paul McCartney is in town. He's playing 2 shows, tonight and tomorrow. McCartney's first performance in Seattle was with the Beatles 60 years ago at the same venue, back when it was called the Coliseum. He last came through town in 2016. One of the great things about Seattle is our restaurant scene, and graduates of the Seattle Culinary Academy are a big part of it. The program is run by Seattle Central Community College. Alumni work in kitchens all over the city, like Chef Kathy Casey, who now runs a bunch of her own restaurants.
It's really something that's approachable and available to everyone. And, there's really amazing culinary schools out there, but they're very expensive. And what Seattle Central really brings here in the Northwest is affordability with great education.
Chef Christy Brown is another graduate. She owns Restaurant Communion and catering company That Brown Girl Cooks. Christy says students from the academy are key to keeping the city's food scene going, especially because of the labor shortage after COVID.
We're short-staffed at the restaurant. I'm short-staffed at the catering company. When I say from Canlis to McDonald's that we are suffering, it is true. Culinary programs out right now, if they're not connected with the Seattle College programs, are really poor, and people come out inadequately prepared to be able to go into the industry.
The program goes beyond just training workers, though. Chef Brian Matiag owns Barcata in Edmonds.
It's not only what the program offered, which was amazing, but it built a community in Seattle and a network of culinary professionals.
Brian met Chef Aaron Visrosa through the program. They went on to form a coalition of local Filipino restaurants. So the news that the program is set to be canceled hits hard. The short story is Seattle Community Colleges has eliminated the funding for it. KUOW reporter Ruby DeLuna has been looking into why and what the impact would be for the city's restaurants. Hey, Ruby, thank you for taking the time.
No, thank you, Trish.
So tell me about this program. What exactly does it do?
Well, as Chef Kathy Casey mentioned, it's an affordable program for those who don't have the means or the time to enroll in these for-profit programs that tend to be a little longer. It's a pipeline for the restaurant industry. And we're not talking just chefs and other kitchen workers. We're talking about food stylists, recipe developers, and other industry-related positions. In fact, when I looked at their website, they boast a 97% job placement rate. This is such a popular program that there's a wait list. And there was a former dean who I spoke with yesterday who said that, this program, the Seattle Central program, is the flagship program in Washington State.
And we heard at the top there, this is a very affordable program compared to some of the larger, more flashier culinary schools. And really, here in Seattle, in this area, it's part of our history.
It is. It really is part of our history. And a lot of these graduates who left the program, had their start in famous kitchens. Brian Madayag, who you spoke with, he's a graduate. He worked at a Tom Douglas restaurant before he moved on to starting his own restaurant in Edmonds. And so, this program is a vital stepping stone for a lot of folks.
Sure. And as Seattle Central's budget is written at the moment, the funding for this program is gone. Why is the college looking to make this cut?
It is a very expensive program to run. And while it's popularity is not enough to keep this viable. First of all, this is an intensive hands-on program, which basically limits the number of students you could take in. And it's also expensive to run because there are a lot of costs associated with running the program. You have regular equipment maintenance and replacement that needs to be done on a regular basis. There's also ingredients that are used, for these classes. And so all these costs add up. And the former dean that I spoke with said, unfortunately, these costs are greater than what the students can contribute. At one point, someone asked, well, what about raising fees? That goes against the mission of a community college, again, providing affordability for students. And in the past, what the colleges have done is that, international student enrollment has helped subsidize that. But with the pandemic, enrollment there dropped significantly.
It's unfortunate, Ruby, that the bottom line has to play such a significant role in all of this, but there is a greater impact here if this place disappears. It is a lot more affordable than some other programs, but there are bigger costs.
Right. And it's not just affordability, Trish. It's about accessibility. It's giving a pathway for folks for whom a 4-year college degree is not for them. This is a pathway for folks who are perhaps new to this country, who are starting out, trying to learn new skills, a new language. And this is a pathway for folks who are making a career transition, for single moms who are trying to start over in a different field. So these are different types of people that community college programs try to reach. If this program does shut down, what does this mean for future students who want to pursue that dream? They won't have many community college-based programs, and they would have to consider for-profit schools that are not only more expensive, but, sometimes takes longer. And this is also happening at a time when, restaurants are struggling to recover from the pandemic and are hurting for workers. They don't have time to train workers. So this is really unfortunate on many levels.
Yeah. At the very least, the community college system is an entry point, an equitable entry point for a lot of people, and doubly so here in the city of Seattle, where we have the Seattle Promise program that helps people afford community colleges as well. Ruby, it also strikes me this is a vocational school, and it's not your typical 4-year degree. And other vocational programs at Seattle Central are on the chopping block too. Let's hear again from Chef Christy Brown.
We're not just talking about the culinary program, but we're talking about a lot of vocational programs that are looking to get cut. Having skilled workers it's imperative. It truly is imperative. And so I'm really fearful about what it means when you start taking these kind of programs away, what it means for folks that have practical, actual skill sets that can be learned and mastered.
Ruby, this feels like a big shift. What is going on here? Do you know? Why are these vocational programs under this level of scrutiny right now?
You're not the only one making that observation. The former dean that I spoke with said, there are other programs like the woodwork program, the optical training programs. Their budgets are shrinking too. And I think what it shows is that these hands-on intensive programs are really expensive. One could say, well, why not bring up the number of students? increase the enrollment. But then what you lose there is the positive experience that you get from a hands-on program. Imagine trying to learn how to make bread, with 50 other students. You kind of get lost in the shuffle, right? And you can't do that online. You're not able to kind of learn with your five senses kind of thing. So there's a reason why these programs are expensive, because they're also intensive. And in the long run, it's about balancing the books while serving the community.
It really makes me think about the future of what we consider to be important careers, Ruby, because it says interesting things about where we may be headed in terms of what is available for career training.
Exactly.
Before I let you go, sometimes when I hear stories like this, it turns out to be more of a call for help. Are you hearing anything like that? Could there be hope for this program that we're not hearing about yet? Is anybody talking about stepping in?
I will say that right now, students and instructors are really raising concerns about this. It's not a done deal yet. This is a recommendation from the leadership team, and the chancellor will make that final decision. People want to support this program, and that's great, but as far as the program sustainability, that's a different matter.
Yeah.
They'll need a long-term solution.
Okay. Really interesting. Thanks so much for your time. KUOW reporter Ruby DeLuna, we will follow your story.
Thanks for having me, Trish.
Thanks for listening. Clare McGrane produced today's show. Matt Jorgensen does our theme music. I'm Patricia Murphy. See you tomorrow.